So if you've ever felt totally lost, kind of adrift in a sea of what-ifs and regrets, then you're in the right place. We're about to take a journey through the story of a woman named Nora Seed, who gets a second chance, not just at life, but at all of her possible lives. And it's a story that asks a pretty huge question about the life you're living right now.
The story kicks off with this line from Sylvia Plath. And wow, it just captures such a deeply human feeling, doesn't it? That ache, that desire to experience everything, to know what was down every single road we didn't take. That one thought is really the seed for this whole incredible story about possibility.
And this question, this is really the heart of it all. For the story, and let's be honest, for a lot of us too. We're all a little bit haunted by the ghosts of our other selves, you know? The ones that were born every time we made a choice, or didn't. For our main character, Nora Seed, this isn't just a passing thought. It's a weight that's become way too heavy to carry.
So we meet Nora at her absolute rock bottom. Her life just feels like this long list of disappointments and regrets. She feels like all her potential has just soured, and she truly believes she's hit the point of no return.
What's so heartbreaking is just how fast it all unravels. It's this cascade of one thing after another. She gets fired, her cat dies, and every single place in her hometown just seems to be screaming at her about her failures. She feels like she's just collapsing inward, and at exactly midnight, she makes a final decision. But you know what? That's not where her story ends. It's actually where it begins. Instead of an ending, Nora finds herself somewhere else. A place that isn't really life, but it's not death either. It's this huge, quiet library with shelves that seem to go on forever, just filled with endless possibility.
And there she's greeted by a familiar face from way back, her old school librarian, Mrs. Elm. And Mrs. Elm explains that this place, it isn't the afterlife, it's an in-between. And its purpose is simple, but it's also incredibly profound. It's a chance to try on all those other lives.
I mean, just imagine that. A library where every single book is a different version of your life. The life where you took that job, or moved to that city, or never broke up with that person. It's this endless catalog of all your other selves, just sitting there, waiting for you to open the cover. But before Nora can pick a new life, she has to face her old one. Mrs. Elm hands her this single, very heavy gray book. Inside, every single regret she's ever had, big or small. But here's the twist. This book isn't just about pain. It's actually her map. It's the guide she's going to use to find her way through all those infinite shelves.
So, with her book of regrets in hand, Nora starts her journey. And the goal seems simple enough, right? Find a life that doesn't hurt like her original one did. Find a life where she can just, finally, be happy.
She starts by trying to undo her biggest regrets. Okay, what if she'd stayed with her ex? She jumps into that life and quickly finds out it's not the fairy tale she imagined. All right, what if she'd become the Olympic swimmer her dad wanted her to be? Well, she gets the gold medal, but it cost her everything else. What about being a glaciologist? She almost dies. A famous rock star? In that life, her fame is tied to her brother's tragic death. With every single attempt, a really tough reality starts to sink in. And this becomes the main lesson she learns, over and over again. She finds out that just erasing a regret doesn't magically create a perfect life. Every choice, even the ones that seemed like the right ones, they just create a brand new reality with a whole new set of problems. You can choose what you do, but you can never, ever choose what happens next.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. This sounds like pure fantasy. But what's so fascinating about this story is that it actually grounds this magical library in some very real and very strange scientific ideas. So let's geek out for just a second on the physics behind it all.
The idea is that Nora is in a state of what's called quantum superposition. You've probably heard of Schrodinger's cat, right? The cat in the box that's both alive and dead until someone opens it to check? Well, that's Nora. She's in that gray area, neither fully alive nor fully dead. And it's that quantum limbo that lets her tap into all this infinite potential. And this connects to another mind-bending concept, the many worlds theory. It suggests that every time a decision is made, the universe splits into parallel timelines. So all those lives Nora's visiting, they aren't just hypotheticals. They're actually happening, right now, in other universes. The library itself, then, isn't a real place. It's just Nora's brain, creating a metaphor it can wrap its head around, like a user interface for the multiverse.
After trying on so many lives, some good, some awful, but none of them perfect, something deep inside Nora starts to shift. Her quest is no longer about finding the perfect life. It's about something else entirely.
This right here is the turning point. After a close call in one of her lives, this profound and totally unexpected feeling bubbles up: the will to live. For the first time since this whole journey started, that simple, raw desire just to exist is stronger than the despair that brought her to the library in the first place.
And as Nora's desire to live gets stronger and stronger, the library itself starts to become unstable. The shelves are shaking, books are falling, the place is coming apart. But Mrs. Elm reveals this absolutely beautiful paradox. The library isn't failing, it's succeeding. Its destruction is the sign that Nora has won. The in-between can't hold her anymore because she's finally chosen a side. She has chosen life.
I mean, the transformation is just total. She walked into that library wanting to die just to get away from her regrets, but by living through them, she found a new desire, to live for pure possibility. That heavy book that was weighing her down, it's gone, burnt to dust. And her original life, the one she saw as a prison, now it just looks like a blank page, waiting for her to write on it.
So with the library collapsing all around her, Nora races back to her original life. She wakes up at the exact moment she tried to leave it, and everything is changed. Not because her situation is different, but because she is.
And this is the core truth of the whole story. This is the ultimate lesson. Nora didn't need a different life to be happy. She just needed a different way of looking at her own. The prison was never her town or her job or her past mistakes. The prison was her perspective.
In the end, Nora gets it. She realizes that the infinite potential of the Midnight Library wasn't something that was just out there in the multiverse. That very same potential for infinite lives, it exists right here, inside the one and only life we actually get. And so the story leaves us all with that really powerful thought. It kind of nudges us to stop looking for a different, better life, and instead to start looking for all the infinite possibilities that are already hidden in the one we have, just waiting for us to change our perspective and finally see them.